All right, let's talk about something huge in data privacy: cross-border data transfers. If you've ever felt kind of overwhelmed by all the rules, trust me, you are in the right place. Let's dive in.
Yeah, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? Moving data across the globe opens up a world of possibilities, for sure. But just like with international travel, you can't just pack a bag and go. You need the right documents, you have to know the local rules, and you've got to be ready for some serious paperwork.
Which really begs the question, doesn't it? If your data is the traveler, what's its passport? I mean, how do you actually prove it's allowed to cross that border and, more importantly, that it's going to be safe on the other side? Well, the answer is a very specific kind of assessment.
And that passport, it has a name. It's called a Transfer Impact Assessment, or a TIA for short. And honestly, this is the key document that's going to unlock safe and legal data transfers for you. Okay, so let's get the official, kind of dense definition out of the way. But stick with me, because the core idea is actually pretty simple. Think of the TIA as your homework. It's the formal process where you check if the country your data is going to protects it just as well as the GDPR does back in Europe. And that phrase right there, essentially equivalent, that's the magic phrase. That's what it all comes down to.
So let's just boil it all down. Forget all that technical jargon for a minute. The TIA, it's your data's passport. Plain and simple. It's the document that proves you've checked everything out and you're good to go.
So you might be wondering, why is everyone talking about this now? What's the big deal? Well, it all goes back to this massive court case you've probably heard of, Schrems II. This ruling was a game changer. It basically tore up the old Privacy Shield agreement between the EU and the US. But, and this is the crucial part, it also said that just signing those standard contractual clauses, well, that's not enough anymore, not by a long shot. You now have to actively check if the laws in the destination country, especially their government surveillance laws, could just wipe out the protections in your contract.
Okay, so we get what a TIA is and why we have to do them. But the big question is, how do you actually do one? Let's break it down. There's a practical roadmap you can follow, and it's totally manageable.
It all comes down to 6 key steps.
All right, here we go. Step 1, know your transfer. Who's sending what data, where is it going, and why? Step 2, map it out. Get specific about the data categories, the purpose, and what tools you're using. Now, step 3, this is really the heart of the TIA. You've got to analyze the laws of that other country. You're basically playing detective here. Then, step 4, assess your safeguards. Are your contracts up to snuff? And can you add extra layers of protection like strong encryption? Step 5 is super important. Document everything. I mean everything. Your findings, the risks, what you did to fix them, it all needs to be in writing. And finally, step 6, and don't forget this one, a TIA is not a one-and-done thing. You have to keep coming back to it because laws and risks are changing all the time.
All right, so as you start digging into this stuff, you're going to hit a wall of acronyms. It's like alphabet soup. So let's decode the toolkit and make sense of some of this jargon.
First one you might see is TIS, a Transfer Impact Self-Assessment. The easiest way to think about this is like it's a mini privacy intelligence engine. It's basically a tool that helps you with that really tough step 3 we just talked about, analyzing foreign laws. It pulls in all this data for you so you can make a faster, smarter call on the risks.
Okay, next up, the classic TIA versus DIA confusion. Let's clear this up once and for all. A TIA is super specific. It is only about the risk of sending data across borders. That's it. A DIA, on the other hand, is way broader. A data impact assessment can be for anything: a new product, a new internal process, whatever. The main takeaway? A TIA is just a very specific kind of DIA.
And then there's the new kid on the block, TITA. Now, you won't find this term in the actual GDPR text. It's more of a new school term that's popping up. What it is a more holistic approach.
It basically bundles the legal TIA with the technical stuff, cybersecurity, privacy engineering, the works. It's about asking, okay, legally we're covered, but can we actually pull this off securely in the real world? Think of it as a TITA plus.
All right, so you've done the hard work. You've run the assessments, you get the risks. Now it's time to get your papers in order. Let's look at what the complete set of travel documents for your data really looks like.
Pay attention here, because this checklist is really your key takeaway. To be fully buttoned up, you need a data transfer map, your finished TIAs, with risk scores, by the way, the latest version of your SCCs, a record of any extra safeguards you put in place, your vendor agreements, the whole shebang. It's the complete file that proves you've done your homework and you're on top of the risks.
And let's wrap up with this final thought, which is really the whole point. In this post-Schrems 2 world we live in, just signing a contract and hoping for the best, that's just not going to cut it. A TIA forces you to really understand the terrain, the legal and the practical reality of where your data is going. It's all about moving from just checking a box to actively managing risk. So the real question is, are you ready to go out and map your terrain?